What's going on YouTube? As more and more buyers have migrated from sedans to crossovers, we've seen big changes. One of the biggest signs was when the famous Corolla nameplate added a dedicated crossover version, predictably called Corolla Cross, which also goes head-to-head with Honda's popular subcompact, the HR-V. Both these models are quite large for the segment, and are more affordable compared to RAV4 and CR-V. So which of these two gives you the best experience for the least money? Well, let's go ahead and find out. So to get things established here, let's quickly talk pricing. Starting with the HR-V, we have the fully loaded model, which is the EXL. Even with the optional paint and the destination charge, our total price is $31,455. Keeping things equivalent, that money on the pricier Corolla Cross will get you the SE Hybrid, with its one main option package for some luxury goodies. Its total price is $32,380. By the way, if you want to get the best price from local dealerships and access to invoice pricing info for these two models or any vehicle, we have a tool on our website to do just that. Check the link in the description for more info. This comparison will be scored objectively, and we have done our best to weigh the points awarded throughout in major and minor categories. But let's not waste any time getting into it. We will begin on the outsides, where we see design and feature differences. Neither of them look like the bigger offerings in their respective lineups, the CR-V and RAV4, since they are smoother and sleeker. Thankfully, you don't have to spend the big bucks to get standard LED headlights, although the Corollas are a superior projector LED. HR-V fights back though with LED daytime running lights and turn signals. Neither of them have fog lamps. And, continuing to the sides, you'll see that the HR-V has a few extra inches of length on the Corolla Cross. We will see later on if that translates to extra interior space, but as far as the outside, they both have 17-inch contrast alloy wheels. You might notice that there is also some cladding around the wheel arches. The HR-V finishes it in a more premium gloss black instead of matte black. In the back, the HR-V strikes a surprisingly premium note with its full LED taillights, which is something that the Corolla doesn't quite have. Both of them have spoilers, wipers, and hidden exhaust outlets. Now checking out some of the individual odd and end features. Both of their mirrors have heating and blind spot monitoring. And both models come standard with their entire safety suite no matter which trim you choose. That includes full speed adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, forward emergency braking with pedestrian detection, and auto high beam headlights. Lastly, warranty coverage is exactly the same, and both have complimentary maintenance for 2 years. So that concludes the outside, but before we get into all the interior specs and features...
If you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars.
Now let's move things inside, and as we walk up to these two models, you will notice that they both have smart entry systems. HR-V also has remote start on the fob free for life, while Toyota requires a subscription after the trial period has ended. Let's start by talking about the seats themselves, which are surprisingly power adjusting and leather covered on the Honda, and neither of those things on the Corolla Cross. Once inside the cabins, we can check out the major point category of material quality. Just like with the seats, the HR-V impresses for the price point, with a range of padded plastics and leatherette trim through the door trims, dash, and center console. In comparison, Corolla Cross has hard-touch plastics in all of these areas. Once you fire the two crossovers up, you have an analog setup with a 4.2-inch multifunction display on the Toyota and a half-digital cluster on the Honda. Obviously, neither of them will offer head-up displays, which is expected for this class. Both steering wheels have the same materials and features. But when it comes to storage, we have plenty of differences. Honda took the same amount of space and worked their magic, sculpting the console area into a highly functional arrangement that can hold more stuff than the Toyota. Taking a look at the shifters next, both are sticking with traditional ones. And, once in reverse, both have regular multi-view backup cameras with electronic parking brakes. Moving up the dashboard, next we have climate controls. They will be single-zone automatic on the Corolla and dual-zone automatic on the Honda. We also have heated seats on the Honda, which aren't offered on the Corolla until the XLE or XSE trims. Now let's go ahead and take an audio sample to see how they sound. The JBL system packs more of a punch than Honda's unbranded system. Infotainment-wise, both are offering the things that people appreciate in this class. While the Honda screen is an inch larger, both of them have wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Toyota also includes their integrated navigation system as well. Wrapping up the front of the cabins, the HR-V has an auto-dimming mirror, and both of them have sunroofs. Now let's head into the rear seats and the cargo areas, which are also very important. If you remember from the exterior part, the HR-V has a size advantage, which does translate to more rear legroom. Headroom, on the other hand, is well below the 5% difference required to score a point. As far as features back here, the Corolla Cross gives you more comfort and convenience. It has vents and USB ports, both of which are unavailable on the HR-V. Out back, neither have power tailgates, but we see the Corolla continue with another advantage. It has an exceptionally large maximum cargo capacity, which is as big as some models in the class above. Even still, the HR-V does have more space behind the rear seats. Alright, we're done with the interiors now. But some of the most important things to consider take place on the drive, so let's take this fight to the streets. So, what's under the hood of these two? Well, the HR-V comes only with a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine, while the Corolla Cross now has both gas and hybrid varieties, and we have the latter. Since Honda has opted to not have a hybrid version of the HR-V like they do overseas, the Toyota has a substantial acceleration advantage. That's not to say either of them will blow you away, but the new HR-V is actually slower than the previous generation, with about a 10-second 0 to 60. Okay, so there we are. We made it to 60. We were going a little bit up a hill.
Yeah, that was slightly
to
unfair.
To be fair, we were going up a hill. Obviously, not the fastest machine out there, but in this category, you know, not everything is not fast, obviously.
Right.
And importantly, we do have more power on board than the outgoing generation, which was very, very slow. Is 60 miles per hour.
Not bad.
Not too bad. We have 196 horsepower. That gas model has 169 horsepower, so a pretty decent power advantage on board. Transmission-wise, we have a CVT and an eCVT, respectively. While responsive, both of them drone quite a bit under hard acceleration. And handling-wise, the Honda has the more balanced feel when the roads start to get twisty. So let's kind of throw us through some corners here and test it out. Okay.
Yeah.
Not bad. Yeah, you can definitely feel some similarities to like a Honda Civic. Of course, those are very great handling, and this is going to be a lot taller than that. But maybe it kind of feels a little bit like a taller Honda Civic hatchback in that regard. I really like how balanced it feels when it goes around the corners. And the other thing I want to talk about is, of course, the continuously variable transmission. So the last gen did have a CVT, but importantly with this new model, as you saw, it does have a shift simulation. Gives it a more, traditional feel. Doesn't drone as much like the old one did when you were full throttle. It just kind of, varies the RPMs, make it sound a little less strained. As you're probably noticing, we do have an eCVT for your transmission. We also have standard all-wheel drive with the hybrid models. Now, out on the highway, sound insulation is important, which is why we take sound level readings on every vehicle we test here at Car Confections. The Corolla Cross continues its comeback with a sound level reading about 3 decibels quieter than the HR-V.
Looks like we're sitting at 60.7 decibels. That is a pretty good reading, I guess, for this segment of vehicle. We settled in 57.4 decibels as our sound level reading for this Corolla Cross Hybrid.
Lastly, let's get into fuel economy. As you would expect, the hybrid is going to be vastly superior, 15 mpg combined to be exact. While other parts of the world have HR-V hybrids, here in the US, 27 combined with all-wheel drive is the best it can do. So that's the end of this comparison between 2 Japanese subcompact heavyweights. HR-V comes out on top today, but let's talk about some reasons why you might choose either of them as your personal winner. So the Corolla Cross should be your winner if you really appreciate having the available hybrid system. This has more power and better MPG as we mentioned, and there is no hybrid HR-V. The other thing is that you have more maximum cargo capacity if you're really wanting to haul around some bigger items.
Now, the HR-V, on the other hand, should be your choice if you like the nicer interior features. Some of the finishes inside the cabin of the HR-V are certainly going to be a little bit more premium than the Corolla Cross. And you do also get more features at the $30K price point with the HR-V, whereas the Corolla Cross, a lot of the trim levels can go into the mid $30,000 price point, so they do reserve some of those features at the $30,000 price. But we want to know your all's opinion if you would take the Toyota Corolla Cross or the Honda HR-V as an affordable SUV choice. Let us know your thoughts down below. And if you're looking to buy either one of these products, we want to remind you again to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. Now, you do that because there's a tool on our website that will connect you to local dealers in your area to get you the best price on your new vehicle. It's also going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealer negotiation. A link to that is provided in our video description. Now, we do also want to encourage you, if you're not a subscriber to the channel already, to hit that subscribe button down below. By subscribing, you help us to make more car review content like this and comparisons. And if you're already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support. It means a lot to us. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.